Well, the first thing I would tell them is don't look at just the numbers. Think about someone you've lost and think, what if you could make a difference in having that not have happened to you? What is that worth? Because I think that's what it really comes down to at the end of the day. When we talk about numbers, they're spending taxpayer dollars. We have to be prudent in that effort. So we have to justify the investment with numbers, but think about it from the human element because that's so very, very important. Back in Governor Perry's administration, the idea percolated among a number of people that it would be a very good idea to try to do something of such a magnitude, a Texas thing if you like, to have a real impact on cancer. The Cancer Prevention and Research Institute of Texas is basically a state agency that devotes significant sums of money to funding cancer research, as well as some prevention and screening programs on a very large scale. Also, as a result of spending this much money in the state, you're generating payrolls. The people who receive those payrolls go out and spend money on retail sales and health care and utilities and everything else, and those ripple through the economy and create jobs. You also create jobs for the suppliers of the materials that the researchers use, and then all the ripple effects that spin off of that as well. So what we know thus far is, and what we can tell, that over the course of the history of CPRIT, and all the activities that come about as a result of CPRIT, the state will gain about $4.8 billion in revenue. Local governments will obtain about $2.3 billion in revenue. So governments as a whole will get about $7.1 billion in revenue off of essentially a $3 billion investment. One of the things CPRIT has done, in addition to providing massive amounts of research support, is it's really improved the prevention and screening services for the state. Texas is a big state, and we have 254 counties. Some of those counties have several million people, some of those counties have 70 people. Every county in Texas has benefited from those prevention screening services. It also enhances the clinical trials because the research is taking place here, the things are being developed here, then the clinical trials take place here. And as a result of that, Texans have more access to those. Beyond that, you're helping make Texas a center for cancer research. You're helping make Texas a center for the healthcare industry. What if by 2040, we were able to achieve the same level of concentration in our healthcare sector as California's achieved in its sector? If we can do that, that's worth $25 billion and about 230,000 jobs. So these are enormous numbers. So there would be some very big losses associated with letting this program die after building this momentum and establishing what we've established here. We look at what happens with the productivity in the economy, but you can't measure a grandchild's love for their grandfather or something of that nature. It becomes very personal for all of us, because I've certainly lost very close family members and friends, and I know anyone who might be listening to this has as well, because that's the type of pervasive issue that cancer is. Well, I really hope Texas continues to invest in CPRIT. It's a very, very important aspect of what's come to define us as a state and part of our economic process, as well as the impacts on healthcare. And it makes me very proud indeed that Texans saw fit to step up and make this investment.